This is a big problem we have right now going on, which I want to talk about. And I'm actually going to be careful about how I phrase things just because there are algorithms and things like that that are dictating things. And if you talk about certain things, you end up having problems with it as well. So John A. Douglas is a fantasy author. He's actually a really good fantasy author. And he has a channel where he makes different books, reviews, and things like that. Has been very excellent in the indie community over the last several years. And he just got popped yesterday for what appears to be no reason. It's really crazy. He knows where it's kind of come from. He thinks he was flagged and mass reported by some people, which is no good, and he's actually dealing with that right now. And so let's get into this and get into who he is, because he's gone viral several times doing good work, actually going into bookstores and showing that like these bookstores these days in fantasy sections don't actually carry any men's fiction anymore. All they do is carry these like romantasy books by Sarah J. Maas, which are just glorified, women's pornography. It's pretty bad. And they don't really have anything else. You don't have new fantasy authors, new men's books, or anything that are coming up in the genre. They're just completely absent. And this is the case in Barnes & Noble. It's the case in Target. Any sort of place where there's fantasy books, you just don't see anything anymore. It's like a wasteland out there. So he's done really good work on that, and he's actually gone viral, like I said, made millions of views based on just covering this, going into bookstores, making videos, and showing people where things are out there. And this is a huge, huge service for, of course, the culture and trying to change things so we can actually get fantasy made great again, which is really what we want to happen here. Of course, we call ourselves the Real Fantasy News here, and I'd love for you to hit the like and subscribe button. Join us as we talk about all things in books, fantasy, culture, science fiction. This is our wheelhouse, guys. Really join our community. It's so important that we build this movement because we are trying to build something really great here, and we're just getting started. It's really good. Now, because of all the weird bans and things going on, I do want you to make sure you get on my Fandom Pulse Substack. I am writing the news. I'm covering all these topics right here. We have so many a day. I actually work with John Trent, who used to run Bounding Into Comics before they censored him. And we cover, at least, 5 to 10 topics a day, more than I can do on this website as well. Sign up here. It's in the description below. You don't have to pay for it. It is a free subscription. And that way I stay connected with you, which, of course, these algorithms have problems with all the time. And if you do want to support us, we don't do advertising. We do have paid memberships, and that really, really helps us a lot because we are doing this full time. I am trying to provide an alternative media service, and it is very, very crucial, guys, that we have alternative media that covers this stuff, because if you don't, you're just going to have IGN or Tor.com, which are just, repeating the same garbage of the corporate press releases that you get out there. We have to build this alternative because this is how you get the news out to change the culture. Very important stuff. And this is also how you discover people like John A. Douglas, because otherwise nobody else is going to report on it, right? So make sure to get on here. This is in the description below. I also usually hawk my books at about this time, but I'm going to hawk John A. Douglas. His Black Crown is really, really fun. This is great fantasy stuff. It's the dying days of the Age of Adventures, and the Orc Wars have ended. The Crown Pantheon, authoritarian rulers of Allspire, slaughtered by marauding orcs, tens of thousands, and returned to peace of the the continent of Evergrad. But among the many half-orc bastards left in the wake of war, there was Prince Ragoth Brightson, son of the notorious warlord Thorgoth, and Sirana, queen of Namaria and the sole human-ruled kingdom. After 17 years of isolation, Ragoth is cruelly forced out of his life of luxurious comfort and into exile on the eve of his royal crowning before he can receive his gilded mark, the mark of the sigil that proves his royal birth. And he has to adventure from there, of course. This is a long description, John. I need to tell him how to shorten this because it's, of course, getting people's attention on this is a big thing. And that's what we need to do right now. The book is really good. I've read it. I can verify that it's a lot of fun, and John A. Douglas is a great up-and-coming fantasy author. I'm going to put this link in the description below so we can support him, and that's what we're going to do today. We're building our movement, guys. I keep telling you. And so, yes, he got popped off of this website, and I'm just being very careful. And it's a wave that's been happening over the last few months. This has been going on. People are getting removed for no reasons, and it's really, really ugly out there. There are mass reporting mobs going on, and what's happening is these mass mobs go in, and they hit a channel, they do something, and the channels just don't even have time to react. And there's actually now AI algorithms that are covering this stuff, and because of those AI algorithms that are covering this stuff, there's nothing that can be done. You just get it, and then you appeal for your reasons. That goes to an AI algorithm. No human even looks at it. Your appeal gets rejected immediately, and that is a massive problem with the system we have right now, where people can get targeted very, very easily. As you can see, his page is gone, and this is a massive problem that he has right here. So this is what he got from YouTube. It says, we have reviewed your content, found severe or repeated violations of our community guidelines. Now, I reached out to John to talk about this, and when I talked to him, he says he's never had a strike, never had a report, never had a problem. So there are no violations that are going out there. I guess there's a severe one at this point, because there's no repeated ones. This is something that's ridiculous. So it's gone, and they just pushed this. So he says, what a coincidence. And this is what he thinks happened. A few days after I embarrassed known trolls of Eric July, and so he's a big supporter of Eric July. If you don't know who he is, Eric July is running a comic company and been selling tens of thousands of books to compete with Marvel and DC. He's hired conservative creators like Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett, and Mike Barron for his company, people who have been blacklisted from the industry, doing a big, big job of doing so. As a YouTube presence, Eric July has around 500,000 subscribers, very, very big base of fan support, and has been around for years. And so since Eric's got his, of course, detractors out there who just go after anybody who ever talks about them, he thinks he's been reported by those folk for no reason, because he made a video defending Eric July. And so this is interesting timing on that, and he talks about that. So, of course, a few hours later, here's the appeal, and this is what he says. This is garbage. After years on this platform, not a single violation. Not only did it take down the channel, you rejected my appeal within 5 minutes, which means nobody looked at it. Your automated system needs to be thrown into the sun. Now, of course, he's been reaching out, and a lot of people have been tagging him on this. Nerdrotic's been getting in on it. Yellow Flash has got in on it. Junk 3PO, Eric July has. They've been tagging YouTube over and over and over again to make sure they pay attention to this, and hopefully some of this actually gets seen by a real person. And you can see this, totally understand where you're coming from. Follow us so we can take a look and continue in DM. And then they DM'd him, and apparently that has not gotten any fruit so far or yielded any results so far. So like I said, guys, this is happening across the board, and I'm actually very frightened on here because I have a lot of people who just really, really, really despise me just because I report the news like this, and it's really, really sad that these people act like this. But we've been reporting the truth very, very hard on topics, even when it's not popular, like the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 debacle, where it was just a woke, crazy game that we learned eventually they had DEI consultants on, and people went nuts trying to cancel us. Of course, I've got the same people who are the Eric July detractors going at me all the time. I've got the extreme leftists from the science fiction who just really just want me dead. It's really crazy over there. And of course, I've got the video game people from that KDC incident where we were right, but bad actors like Smash JT went out there and said we were lying about this and we're Kotaku and just tried to cancel us because I think he just wanted to solidify his own kind of influence out there. So this happens a lot, and when you get those kind of bases at you with those angry people like that, it's not safe on these platforms is what it comes down to. And any algorithmic platforms like that to begin with, honestly, it's been pretty rough because they have changed their algorithm as it is over the year. They've been nuking channels like us left and right, not only just for this, but from being shown on their main pages. This has been happening with me, Clownfish TV. It's actually happened with Smash JT as well. That's why he's lashing out so hard these days, I believe, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. And this is something that's just not safe. And that's why I want to move everybody from this to a platform that's not an algorithm-based thing. Substack is really, really good. And I can do video over there. I haven't yet because I still am still much bigger here than I am there. And this place, I actually collect your email address. So when I send out an email with our stories of the day, you see that, and I get directly to talk with you, and that way I can connect directly with you. There's no algorithm dominating it. You don't get curated by some corporation what you can even see. That's a very, very important thing. And so get on here, guys. Like I said, I'll eventually probably do some video content over here and stuff like that if you want video. I like written because written's, you get a little smarter of an audience if you're readers, right? And if you're readers, you're probably here because you're looking at this for fantasy books and the like anyway. So you should like reading in theory. And so this is the future. We have to get away from algorithmic-based things where corporations control the content because, this is what happens. John Douglas gone. And, of course, we're going to try to platform him as much as possible. and other people have been gone too. And this is something that is just really, really bad right now. It's a horrible ecosystem, and I think there's massive problems going on with what Google's trying to do to try to manipulate the culture on the opposite direction. And so we have to build something much better. So get on Fandom Pulse, get on Substack, hang out there. It's a good ecosystem. Of course, get on my newsletter, just anywhere where it's not algorithm controlled and we can actually just talk about what we want to talk about. That's what's important. And that's what John Day Douglas is going to be doing. I don't think he has a Substack yet. He's written some articles for Fandom Pulse before. We're going to promote him wherever possible. This is terrible. I hope it does get reversed, but I'm not holding my breath just because of how bad things have gotten. It's really, really like, alarm time to where like we have to start moving. And I know I'm going to get comments, by the way, get on Rumble. I'm on Rumble. Nobody watches over there. Rumble is another algorithmic-based platform, by the way. They actually tried to recruit me over there back in April, and I said, I don't get views. And they said, well, we can fix that. And I'm like, how? Well, we can turn on some things that can get you shown. It's the same situation. It's just different gatekeepers. I don't want to deal with that again. And I think that people need to move to spots where, like I said, it's much more organic. It's much more, you can read like what we're talking about and not just see something that's a topic that they think that you want to see. That's very, very important at this juncture. So get on here. And, of course, this is really sad. Support John A. Douglas. Get his book, guys. It's in the description below. Appreciate you guys being here. And I don't know what to do about this, frankly. I'm just going to sound the alarm and, of course, try to move folk because that's what we're going to have to do. And I appreciate you for being here. We'll be back soon.